Let's talk bike lights, specifically MagicShine RN1200. I bought this light back in October to enable me to keep riding through the winter and ride my bike back and forth to work. I paid £35 for it at the time. Its RRP is £52.99 on Amazon. It's currently now on a sale for £33.38. So I thought I'd get this video out while it's on sale, because for this money you won't find anything better. Now, the RN1200, as the name suggests, it's got a 1200 lumen output, and this is enough for your main light on the front of your bike, riding on the darkest of roads, some gravel paths. Maybe not quite enough for flat out trail riding off-road. Now, talk about trail riding off-road, I do have previous experience with the MagicShine brand. Possibly 20 years ago, I bought one of the first lights they imported into the country. It had a big battery that strapped onto the frame of your bike. It had a head unit that went on the handlebars that had 3 separate lights on it, and it would light up on full power easily 100 meters down the trail, and it was an excellent light for off-road riding, if not a bit bulky with the batteries, but you also did get a good battery life out of the batteries, and that light was ultra reliable. I did have to change the batteries, as you do after a certain amount of time, especially with older tech batteries, but the batteries in this are newer, smaller, more powerful for their size than they used to be. But I digress. MagicShine brand, don't be put off by the fact that it's often reduced. It is a reliable brand from my experience. Compared to other lights in its class, well, for £52 there's a couple of lights that it would possibly go up against, and similar output levels. Possibly the other lights might be a little bit lighter if you're worried about weight. This is possibly 50 grams heavier than some of them, so if you were intending to put the light on your helmet as a secondary light for off-road trail riding, this might not be the light for you. But for the discounted price that it's quite regularly at, this is probably the best value light that you can buy, and for £32 it's got to be worth it for without carrying an extra bit of weight, unless you're really worried about weight penalties. And even if you aren't only worried about stripping your bike back on weight, does it really matter when you're riding in the dark through the winter? Probably not. So let's take a deeper dive into the specs of the light. So firstly, it mounts on a Garmin style mount. In the box there was a Garmin style mount on a soft rubber strap to your handlebars, or you can stick it to your existing bike computer mount, but then that's if you're not using the computer at the same time. And there is a GoPro adapter, so you can stick it to any GoPro mounts you might already have on your bike. Now, one thing I think they may have missed the trick here with is actually fit in the female type adapter on top, so that it could have gone underneath the bike light. And there are some lights out there that will perform this function, but they cost double what this does. So it's USB rechargeable, no batteries to mess around with, charges via USB-C in that port, and that is also a 2-way port, so it can make a nice emergency backup charger if you need to charge your phone, although you really have messed up if you need to use your bike light that might already be running low to charge your phone. But the function's there if you need it. If you press the on button quickly, it just lights up either green or red. If the battery's over 20%, it lights up green. If it's under 20%, it lights up red. And just a quick summary of battery capacity, the running hours are stated in the adverts, but I managed to do 2 complete rides back and forth to work, 20 miles there and back. And then when I ride into work for the 3rd time, it goes onto red, and then I charge it in work before riding home. We're talking about 40 minutes either way, so you do get a good couple hours run time out of it, and will depend on the power settings, which I will go through now. But I normally ride it on a medium power setting, and on a high power setting if I'm on an unlit road. Now, Your first long press brings the light on, and then to cycle through the power settings I was just talking about, a quick press of the button, low, medium and high power. And if we take a look at the video that I've recorded on one of my rides back and forth to work, you can see what those power levels look like out on a cycle path. Now this is on an old GoPro 5 camera, so what I could actually see did look a lot better than what you're seeing on camera, but it does give you an idea of the low, medium and high power settings as I cycle through them. In reality, out on a road sparsely lit by street lights, I ride it on medium power, and if there are no lights around at all, I turn it on to high, and I think I've probably got a good visibility out to about 50 meters. So that's more than enough that I want out of a bike light to go on a bike riding on road, trails, gravel paths. If I was riding through the woods like I used to, I would be looking for a more powerful light. Okay, so if we look at the front of the light, it does have a set of deflectors at the top to try and angle the beam down. You don't have long coming car drivers, but I do still find myself setting the bike, tilting down a little bit to keep the beam out of oncoming drivers' eyes, and it's a good idea anyway because you want to pick up any potholes or debris in the road. So it's a good idea to light up the tarmac in front of you anyway. So I don't like the light horizontal, I point it down a little bit, even though it's got those deflectors here. I'm not sure they do much. So in summary, an unbeatable value bike light that's powerful enough to ride out on a road, cycle paths, trails, for £33.38, I think is unbeatable. I get over 3 hours runtime out of it, running between medium and high settings depending on the environment. I haven't done full discharge times on each setting. It's those kind of tests are a little bit pointless if you do them in the house or out in your back garden anyway, because it will very much depend on temperature. But my actual usage was out in November and February, March, early in the morning when it was still dark in cold temperatures, so you are putting the battery under most stress. When it's warm you will get higher run times out of it again. Just as a quick note, I don't just rely on the RN1200 as a front light. I have a set of front and back rubber coated lights. I believe I had these given to me with one of my bikes from Halfords years ago. It's a good idea to have backup rechargeable lights, run them at the same time as the main lights, just to give you a bit more presence on the road. And if your light fails, this isn't going to light your path, but it will make you visible to oncoming drivers or riders. And then as my main tail light at the moment, I'm using this again. I think it came with one of my bikes. This does project light a little bit further and light up reflectors and signs and boards and stuff behind me. It takes 2 AA batteries, and for a light that came free with something, it's well sealed with your orange gasket there, and the batteries last remarkably well. When it runs out, I will probably look for a MagicShine or another discount brand LED bike light to replace it with. But yeah, never rely on one front or back light. Have a backup set of lights. They don't need to be as powerful, but just to keep yourself visible if your main lights run out. And also 2 lights give you more of a presence on the road than one, and if somebody oncoming has 2 points of reference, it can help them to judge their distance to you as well. So that's all for this time. Catch you in the next one. Cheers folks.